All right, show of hands. Who hit the cider mill early today?
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? Matt Derry with you. It is a postgame edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network on a Sunday, November 17th and a Monday, November 18th. Lions absolutely dismantle the clown show that is the Jacksonville Jaguars 52-6. I don't care how bad Jacksonville is. They're horrible, but the Lions are so good. And today they wiped that bad taste out of their mouth of having to come back from 16 down to beat the Texans last week. And they caught a body today. They just destroyed Jacksonville 52-6. We welcome you in. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcast. Please, if you have not yet, follow us on Blue Sky at Derry Speaks. Appreciate all of you that check us out also on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. What a win today for the Lions. They knock off the Jags. They scored. They get the ball. They scored touchdown. They get the ball again, touchdown. Again, touchdown. Again, touchdown. Fifth time, touchdown. Sixth possession, touchdown. Seventh possession, touchdown. Lions scored on their first 8 possessions, 7 touchdowns, and then Jake Bates threw in there a 50-plus yard field goal. And they torch Sergeant Pederson, Doug Pederson, and the Jags 52-6. The 9-1 start, 8 straight wins. 9-1 starts, the best start in the franchise's history since 1934. First time in team history, according to our crack research staff, they've scored 50 points in a game twice. 3 times this year, a team has scored 38 points or more in a game. It's only been the Lions the 3 times. No other team has done it. 644 total yards today. Most ever by a Lions team. 38 first downs. Most ever by a Lions team. You get the drift. You get the picture. But we have a major injury to talk about. We're going to hand out some game balls. Quick shout out, first of all, before we begin. Kyle Meinke, and I've not brought this up on the show, and this is completely my fault. Kyle Meinke has been a friend of mine for 15 years. Has covered the Lions for a very long time, I believe 12 years on the Lions beat at mlive.com. Kyle has left the Lions beat and has left the country. He is moving to Berlin, Germany, just to start something new and to do his thing. And that's that. If you know Kyle, like I do, this is what Kyle does. He marches to the beat of his own drummer. So congratulations to Kyle. A great run at MLive. Ben Raven and Corey Woods will continue the coverage at mlive.com. They'll do the Dungeon of Doom podcast, which they've already done. But just wanted to wish Kyle the best. He was always great to me when I was at 105.1, came to our remote shows and did some shows with me. He always came on the podcast, usually once, twice a year. I like to put the beat writers on and kind of leave them alone. Kyle is a great person. And so we wish Kyle the best. He just wanted to make a change in his life. He's moving to Berlin, of all places. So good luck to our friend, Kyle Meinke. Today's game was simple. Jacksonville got the ball first, and actually Will Little hit a 59-yard field goal. Jacksonville led this game 3-0. But every time the Lions touched the ball today, folks, this was an ass kicking at its highest level. The offensive line just shredded Jacksonville up front. Now, Jacksonville's got some good players up front. Josh Allen's really good. Josh Hines Allen, Trayvon Walker. The Lions, go back and watch the game if you DVR'd it or something, or just watch the highlights and watch where the offensive linemen are all day. They're down the field. They're pushing that Jacksonville front back and back some more, 5 yards, 10 yards. They just are such a good unit. And Taylor Decker coming back today was huge. You got Glasgow at left guard. You got Ragnow at center. You got Kevin Zeitler at right guard playing at a very high level. And then you've got the biggest butt kicker in the league and the biggest badass in the league and just the best at the position, Penei Sewell, destroying people. Watch the David Montgomery touchdown run when Sewell shoves 4 Jaguars in Montgomery into the end zone. He can do whatever he wants. That's how good Penei Sewell is. And so that's where it kind of just started today, where the Lions got the football on their first possession, went right down the field today. And David Montgomery ran one in from 2 yards out. Later in the game, he had a 6-yard touchdown run. Gibbs had a 1-yard touchdown run, and Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery doing their thing. When Gibbs and Montgomery both score a touchdown, the Lions are unbeaten. They're 9-0. And that duo is something special. You got that power. You got this team dominating at the line of scrimmage. You have a quarterback today, Jared Goff, who finally, after all these efficient games that he's had, where he's had 153.8 and 154 and 140 passer rating, we said, how come Jared Goff never gets a perfect passer rating? Well, that question is no longer have to be asked, because today Jared Goff achieved a perfect passer rating. 158.3 is the best you can do. And today, Jared Goff, 24 out of 29, 412 yards. I see a 16, 4 touchdown passes, not sacked, not picked off. He was phenomenal. Phenomenal. And he and Amon-Ra St. Brown just had a connection going. We said it during the week. And let's give some love to Tony Wiggins, host of the Locked On Jaguars podcast. If you watched Thursday's show, and Thursday's show got a great response from you, the listeners and viewers, and I thank you for that. Shout out to our everydayers out there, by the way. We're going to do a long list, maybe tomorrow, of our everydayers that are out there. Tons of you guys, and appreciate all of you. But a lot of the everydayers, a lot of the commenters on YouTube said how much they loved the Thursday crossover with my guy T. Wig. Tony Wiggins is awesome. All right, we've got some great hosts along our network. I've been doing this since 2016. We've been doing crossovers the last few years. That was as fun a crossover as we've ever done. Ever. By the way, Peter Bukowski, Locked On Packers, is going to be unbearable to listen to after that win over the Bears today. The Bears, man. Oh, Bears. But Tony Wiggins said it on Thursday. He said, Matt, we're going to get our asses kicked. This is not going to be close. This is going to get ugly. And he's right. Jacksonville is a dumpster fire. They're a mess. 2-9. You got to figure Shad Khan, the owner of the Jags, is going to fire Doug Pederson tomorrow. There's a chance he cleans house and fires the GM Trent Baalke as well, because that was a pathetic performance from them. Yes, Trevor Lawrence didn't play, and Tank Bigsby didn't play, and Christian Kirk has been out, and they're without some receivers. But that's a pathetic operation and team. That's a bad football team. And the Lions, every time they got the ball, just did whatever they wanted to do. Goff had pinpoint control and accuracy today. Remember, the Lions scored 52 points today, scored touchdowns on their first 7 possessions, and did all of that without Sam Laporta, their top tight end, who was out with a shoulder injury today. Amon-Ra caught 11 balls for 161 yards. Guess how many targets St. Brown had today? Yeah, that would be 11. Every time Goff throws in the ball, he catches it. There's not a bad throw. There's not a tip pass. There's not a pass defended. Nothing. Jamison Williams back with a vengeance. 124 yards receiving, including the crossing route from 64 yards out. That's the thing with this Lions team. And again, I can't believe it, and neither can you, because I've been in this town since 96. I've lived here more than I've lived anywhere for years. The Lions, they see your weakness and they expose it. They take advantage of it. Offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, who, by the way, could be the next coach of the Jaguars. If you're Ben Johnson and you're looking at jobs, moving on to Florida in that nice weather, having Trevor Lawrence as your quarterback, that's not a terrible Jacksonville roster. They're a bad team right now, and they're a tire fire, but like, that wouldn't be a terrible job, would it? I mean, there's no pressure down there. It's not like there's hardcore media and fan base that gets mad at you. I mean, would you take the Dallas job or would you take the Jacksonville job? Would you take the Jets job or would you take the Jacksonville job? Would you take the Bears job or the Jacksonville job? You could win right away in the AFC South. Probably, right? I don't know. Regardless, what if Ben Johnson, somebody tweeted me this, Ben Johnson and Mark Brunell could be a package deal down in Jacksonville. Brunell would be the OC, and it's possible. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't want that to happen. We want Ben Johnson right here. My original point is Ben Johnson sees what another team doesn't do well, which the Jaguars are brutal defensively against the pass, especially crossing routes. They had Amon-Ra St. Brown on crossers all day. They had J-Mo on crossers all day, and it worked to perfection. So awesome job today by Ben Johnson, the entire coaching staff. And the Lions just continue to do what they do. And that is destroy people. We have a dominant football team here. This is a dominant team. And Chiefs and Bills are playing right now as I'm recording, but wow, what's it like to have a dominant team? We don't have to ask that question anymore. It's here. It's here. And next week, road game at Indy. Colts won today. AR looked pretty good. Anthony Richardson. That should be a fun game. But I know a lot of Lions fans making that 4.5-hour jaunt down 24, 469, 69, 465 to the Circle City next week. So, all right, coming up next, let's get into the defense a little bit. We got to talk about a major injury. Our guy, the Gaines Media poster boy, is going to be out for a while. Sucks. And we'll hand out game balls next. And the Sunday edition of Locked On Lions is brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL, all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place all of your bets. All right, so visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. I was at an event this weekend down in Atlanta with my wife. A lot of friends and family were down there. Well, not family, but friends. Well, family, my brother and my sister-in-law and my niece. But one of the kids that was down there is a big football bettor. He's got the FanDuel app. He said, he just got free. He said, I signed up, but I got $150 for free. I said, did you make a $5 bet? He said, yes, I did. See, it works. FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Locked On Lions Sunday edition. Lions over the Jaguars today, 52-6. Second game this season, the Lions have scored 50 points. They were throwing the ball. You know, who made the comment? It was Xavier McKinney, the safety for the Packers a few weeks ago. So the Lions try to embarrass you, and he didn't like that. And the Lions embarrassed the Packers. The week before, the Lions embarrassed Dallas, or a few weeks earlier. Today, the Lions embarrassed Jacksonville again. Jared Goff's out here on a 42-6 game, throwing Amon-Ra St. Brown a touchdown in the fourth quarter. Dan Campbell, Ben Johnson, they're not letting up. They're not putting the foot on the gas. How about when it was 52-6? Brian Thomas makes a catch on the sidelines, juggles it a little bit. It was close. Dan Campbell challenged it. Dan Campbell's still coaching. It's a 46-point game in the fourth quarter. And Dan Campbell's like, we're challenging. Still coaching. Still foot on the gas pedal. And Campbell said after the game today, this was as good a performance as his team has had that he can remember. It was just a complete performance. Offense, defense, special teams. I don't think did Jack Fox punt today? Was it once? I think he had one punt today. No punts today for Jack Fox. The punt god, not a single punt today. But it was an incredible performance all the way around. Look, it helps that Jacksonville's bad. I mean, that team is sorry. And Mac Jones, how did Bill Belichick, all right, arguably the greatest coach, probably the greatest coach in NFL history, 7 Super Bowls, championships. How did Bill Belichick think that Mac Jones was a starting quarterback in this league? Now, certainly the Lions had an advantage today with Trevor Lawrence hurt and everything else. But Mac Jones today, 17 out of 29 for 138 yards. The interception by Kirby Joseph. Kirby Joseph's a Pro Bowler, folks. He is. 56.4 passer rating today for Mac Jones. He's abysmal. He's terrible. But I want to say something about the Lions' run defense today. Yes, Jacksonville was playing from behind for most of the game, so they had to throw the football a lot. The Lions held Travis Etienne to 27 yards on 12 carries, 41 rushing yards today for Jacksonville to the Lions 196. This defense is starting to get it, and they're starting to come together, and they're starting to wrap up and tackle. And you saw how physical the Lions secondary is when they come up and hit you. Brian Branch today had a boomstick type hit. Amik Robertson had the screen he blew up on ETN. Just a physical hit. Jack Campbell is a physical player. The sack today that Zadarius Smith and a bunch of guys got on Mac Jones. This is a ferocious. We never said this. The last few years, the Lions now have won 30 games, and they've now won. What was the stat? It's their best 30 game stretch in a long time. I think they're 20-10, something like that. I'll look it up. But during this stretch where the Lions are really starting to come on, really last year into this year, at the end of 2022 also, the Lions are starting to get real physical on defense. They're starting to really body you, be physical on the outside with the corners. Safeties come up and hit. And you just love to see it. Malcolm Rodriguez had a big time hit as well today. But you love it. And Kirby Joseph today with another interception. So that's 7 picks on the year for Joseph to lead the NFL. And he's had the most. Kevin Harlan said it on the CBS broadcast today. And what a treat to have Kevin Harlan and Trent Green. You know, we rarely get the CBS broadcast. I, for one, think the CBS broadcasts, all in all, are better than the Fox. And I love the CBS crew today with Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, the former Chiefs quarterback, and Melanie Collins on the sideline. I think they did a really good job. But Kevin Harlan said it during the broadcast today. Kirby Joseph is the most interceptions, 16 of anybody going back the last couple of years. Just a ball hawk, man. And that was a play where Joseph cut in front of the receiver, but Brian Branch was also there too. Aaron Glenn, future head coach, Aaron Glenn, has the defense playing at a very, very high level. Very high level. Jack Campbell, 9 tackles today. He got credited for a half a sack today, along with Zadarius Smith. It was good to see Smith out there. You could tell there was a little bit of rust for Zadarius. He hadn't played in a couple of weeks, and but when he got that half a sack, he did that kind of crawl celebration. Was awesome. It was a lot of fun to see. Very, very cool. But what can you say about this game? Lions just dominated from start to finish, and they win 52-6. But give credit to the defense and, like I said, special teams, everything. This was just a complete and utter crushing of another team's soul. And that's what the Lions have been doing. They've won 8 straight games. And during this span, if I can find it here, I mean, it is just, other than last week having to win at the gun against Houston, and they had the other kick with Minnesota, but I mean, destroys Jacksonville, dominates Green Bay, dominates Tennessee, dominates Dallas, blows out Seattle. I mean, they've put up 42, 47, 52, and 52 in games this year during this win streak. And like I said, next week at Indianapolis, that's a team that is not very good. Won today against the Jets 28-27 as Anthony Richardson came back and looked pretty good. But you got a young quarterback that you can rattle next week that sometimes is very inaccurate. And like I said, there's going to be a lot of Lions fans down in the Circle City next week. All right. So we saw this play happen in the second quarter today, and he went right to the locker room with about 2 minutes to go in the half. Gaines Media poster boy and Locked On Lions legend, the blonde flowing locks of Alex Anzalone, has a broken forearm. Came over to make a tackle near the sideline, collided with a teammate, and everybody saw it. He was down on the sideline, and I think it was was it the Lions sideline or Jacksonville sideline? And he got up and he turned to somebody and said, "It's broke. It's broke." He knew, and it's his forearm. Dan Campbell said after the game today that he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. So a devastating blow to this defense. And I say that because, yes, the Lions are deep at linebacker. They got Malcolm Rodriguez back today. Jack Campbell has played very well. Ben Neiman has come in and contributed when need be. But this is another linebacker that has gotten now injured for this team this year. So totally sucks to lose Anzalone. He's just a leader on that defense. He's one of the captains. He's a guy you rely upon. Very, very solid. But you got Jack Campbell now. You got Malcolm Rodriguez, who I said before, Ben Neiman will get some time. This kid Ezekiel Turner they have brought in from the practice squad, but may play a little bit more. Jalen Reeves-Maben, will be a guy that they'll lean on too. And he's been hurt lately. But man, that sucks for Alex because he's had such a good career here. He has gotten better every year and has been an ascending player. But injuries are part of the game. Hopefully they'll have him back for the playoffs. Lions have what do they have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks to go. So you got to figure you get Alex back maybe for the first playoff game. That wouldn't be a bad thing. But next man up. Lions have some decent depth there. They got Rodrigo back. He had missed the last two with his shoulder problem, and Malcolm Rodriguez made some good plays today. All right, let's get you some game balls. We will do that coming up next, right here on a Sunday edition of Locked On Lions. Lions 52, Jacksonville 6, as they smoke the Jaguars and win back-to-back games over the AFC South. Vikings beat the Titans today. They swept the AFC South. And now the Lions with a win today over Indy. They've got to, they win over Jacksonville. They've already beaten Houston. They've already beaten Tennessee. They can sweep the South next week. And folks, Locked On Lions today brought to you by Hillsdale College. History, economics, the great works of literature, the meaning of the U.S. Constitution. Did you study these things in school? Probably not. Or even if you did, maybe it's time for a refresher. Time and technology have changed a lot of things, but they've not changed basic fundamental truths about the world and our place in it. Our sponsor, Hillsdale College, is offering more than 40 free, I said that right, free online courses that includes Constitution 101, the meaning and history of the Constitution, Introduction to Free Market Economics, The Great American Story, A Land of Hope, and so much more. Hillsdale College is awesome. We love that they're sponsoring us here on Locked On Lions. All their courses are self-paced, so you can start wherever, whenever, tune in wherever. Plus, you can go deeper with readings, quizzes, discussions, or just enjoy the lectures. Go right now to hillsdale.edu/lockedon to enroll. There's no cost, and it's easy to get started. That's hillsdale.edu/lockedon to register. hillsdale.edu/lockedon. Lions victorious today over the Jaguars. Don't you hate when people call them the Jaguars? No, it's Jaguars. 52-6. Lions improve to 9-1, their best start since 1934. They are 4-1 at home. Jacksonville falls to 2-9, 0-6 on the road. Doug Pederson, Super Bowl winning head coach in Philadelphia, got to Jacksonville, got him in the playoffs his first year. He's in big trouble. Already asked about his job after the game today and said, it's out of my control. I just have a job to do, and I'm going to go to work tomorrow. There's a chance he could be out tonight or tomorrow. Many people feel like this 2-9 Jags team is spiraling. I don't know if they quit today. They're just bad. They're just god-awful. But Jared Goff, 4 touchdown passes today. David Montgomery, couple of touchdown runs. Jahmyr Gibbs had a touchdown run. St. Brown, 2 touchdown catches. J-Mo had the touchdown catch, as did Brock Wright. How about brocking and tackling? Plymouth Jim Mulhern. I should trademark that. Brocktober today, in November, getting a touchdown. 7 possessions to start the game. 7 touchdowns. How much fun must have that been for you guys at Ford Field that were there? Theo Gridiron's voice, he must be hoarse after this game today, the legendary Lions singer. But next week, Lions at Indy, 1 o'clock start from Lucas Oil Stadium, and then Thanksgiving Day against the Bears, who completely melted down today, and then Cairo Santos had his field goal blocked at the end with the Bears down 1. Packers won 20-19. Matt LaFleur is 11-0 against the Bears. Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine Chicago sports radio tomorrow? Wowzers. All right, let's hand out some game balls, shall we? First and foremost, this is a no-brainer. Jared Goff, game ball, 24 out of 29, 412 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no sacks, no picks, and a perfect passer rating of 158.1. 158.3. Jared Goff back in the MVP discussion. You see on the screens, on CBS, Lamar Jackson for MVP and Josh Allen and Jared Goff's right up there. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs both get game balls today. Montgomery, 15 carries, 75 yards, average 5 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, 11 carries, 69 yards, average 6 a carry, and a touchdown. Gibbs also caught that little screen and scampered 54 yards. He had a big day today, Jahmyr Gibbs. And by the way, how about Craig Reynolds getting into the game today and carrying the ball? Come on, Craig. When Craig gets in, social media is just, they love it. How about Jared Goff also ran for 21 yards? He came into the game, I believe, with 12 yards rushing all year and ran for 21. All right, we'll take it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, game ball, 11 catches, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns. What can you say about number 14? He's always open. He runs great routes. He never drops a pass. He was fantastic again today. Jack Campbell led the Lions in tackles today, gets a game ball. 9 tackles, 3 solo, half a sack, and a tackle for a loss. Great game today from Jack Campbell. And Kirby Joseph, another interception, league leading 7th. That is to go along with 3 tackles, 2 solo, a pass defended, and the pickoff at the goal line. Kirby Joseph has just become, he and Brian Branch back there. It is a tough duo. You can't throw the ball deep against the Lions. They're too good there. So big win today, 52-6 over the Jags. It was a lot of fun. We've got a full week ahead of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. We'll preview the Colts this week. Get you to sprinkle in a couple of other guests as well that we're working on. But thanks for making us your first listen, everybody. Thanks to our everydayers that are out there. We'll do some shout outs tomorrow right here on Locked On Lions. 52-6. They wax Jacksonville.